Daniel Craig gives the green flag. We're underway at the Roval. Still 2 by 2 as they dive into turn 3. Denny Hamlin surges ahead. Keselowski has second. Logano, his Penske teammate, tucked back there in third. Christopher Bell in fourth.
Christopher Bell in that 20 car. I think you need to watch him all day today. He has to win to move to the next round of the playoffs, most likely. Has good track position right now. I don't think he's going to give it up. He's going to be aggressive.
The 9 of Chase Elliott on the outside of that 19 of Martin Truex Jr. He's only 9 points above the cut line. How aggressive will Chase Elliott be at the start of this race?
Well, we're getting ready to find out, because side by side, there you go, Chase Elliott. He gave the spot up to Martin Truex Jr. Did not want to go side by side in that rear chicane.
Steve, 2 chicanes. If you miss this one, there's a spot on the front stretch just in the the restart area that you can come to stop. And if you miss the front stretch, there's also a penalty box there too.
Yeah, so we see as Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott go down in. If you miss either of these corners defined by that blue curbing, you could start, as you mentioned, in the restart area. You could stop 2 drivers left right here by the start-finish line. And as yesterday, we saw a lot of guys really having trouble in the backstretch chicane. You could also stop there. Most important thing, if you miss it, stop that lap. If you don't serve that penalty, NASCAR will bring you down pit road.
Eric Almirola in that rear chicane. See right here on the bottom of the racetrack, 17 alongside of him, and Eric just didn't recognize that he was there. Contact. Was running 20th. See right here, gets in there and just 17's there, and off they go. A little bit of damage on Buescher's car, but that put Almirola all the way back to 39th. One mistake, you know, at an oval, that's a call.
Stage 1, remember, a lot of these guys that came to pit road, including Truex, they need those stage points for the playoffs. So these guys are coming to get tires now. They won't pit underneath the competition yellow, stay on the racetrack, and if people pit, he'll move to the front. Oh, big penalty, though. First playoff guy to make a mistake, the 20 of Christopher Bell. We talked about it beforehand, as now we see the 11 of Denny Hamlin also come to pit road. A huge penalty for the 20. All this great strategy thrown out the window with a mistake. And right here you see the 20 of Christopher Bell serving his penalty. Actually an advantage to serve the penalty right here under green. As the field gets stretched out, he would lose more positions than at yellow. He would go all the way to the tail end. So if he loses 10 spots here, Rick, that's better than going to the tail end. This makes Joey Logano currently the leader on the racetrack. We expect to see a yellow flag here shortly.
And Chris Gabehart told him, hey, our philosophy is simple. We want 1 playoff point. Oh, a spin by Brad Keselowski.
Keselowski around.
Get a point and go ahead. I got a double eye coming here. Wait.
On the road courses, the caution won't come out if you can continue on, and Keselowski is going to be able to continue on, it looks like, if he gets it fired up.
Went in there too wide, and we've seen this before, drivers. It's just not a lot of room. That's why a lot of people concede the position. Let's say, I can't tell. It looks like it was the 2. Oh, not too wide. I'm wrong. Contact from the rear bumper, the 48.
Luckily, Bowman's able to get by. Doesn't look like there was contact between him and Brad as Brad spins back across the racetrack.
That's huge for Brad. He's racing for points. He needs these points. That's going to put him in a position he's not going to get any stage points.
Yeah, I think some of these teams definitely, you know, I talked to Harvick. He didn't think he could get stage points in each stage. He had to kind of pick, all right, is it stage 1 or is it stage 2? This definitely changes the strategy for the 2 team going forward, Dave.
It does for sure. You know, the first 2 stages are all about knowing what you have for the 3rd stage. And I asked Jeremy Bones, the crew chief on the 2, do you feel safe with 20 points to the cut line coming in? He goes, I don't feel safe, but it's better than nothing. He would like to have added those stage points, though, at the end of this first one.
Cautions come out. Ryan Newman, the right rear tire completely gone on that car.
And he went for a big spin. He was in the middle of basically the oval turn 4 high-speed area. When I looked up, he was spinning down the front stretch. I can tell you, buddy, you had a flat tire. It snapped around on poor Newman.
Let's take a look and see how this happened. You mentioned Steve through NASCAR turn 4 up at the top of the screen. Blows the right rear tire, car goes around, smacks the outside wall.
Just a great break. I think that was Brad Keselowski coming through. It's hard to say, but I can see the yellow banner on the windshield. Yeah, Brad Keselowski almost got wrecked by a wrecking Ryan Newman. That just proves no one is safe around the Roval.
Earlier, he goes around in the infield part of the course.
Can't tell if there was contact on the right rear, if maybe that's how it got cut.
Green flag back in the air.
Look at A.J. Allmendinger to the inside of the 12 down into turn 1.
And then further back, you see Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick both making it 3 wide.
Bottled up there, 3 wide through turn 1. Allmendinger out front. Blaney fighting him to the inside as they go to turn 3. Martin Truex Jr. in the 19 looked to the inside of Chase Elliott.
Here's the thing, even with new tires, you got to have a clear racetrack. I mean, where are you going to go when they're too wide in front of you? The infield race is like a street course.
That's the problem. There's a little smoke right there. That's the problem, Steve. Even with great tires, it's so hard to get by anybody.
And the 11 of Denny Hamlin was caught speeding on pit road, had to go all the way to the back, so he's going to be fun to watch to try to recover.
Chase Elliott gets around Ryan Blaney. Blaney trying to work off some rubber, some buildup or something on that race car. He heads to the braking zone. Truex trying to attack. Blaney to the inside. Will hops almost, spins the car out.
Oh, the 21 misses it. He's over to the left there. Stopped. Going to give up his penalty. You're going to see him rejoin Matty D.
And coming up on just 2 laps to go in stage 1.
Chase Elliott's closing in on the leader, A.J. Allmendinger. Down to within 2 car lengths.
Oh, and around goes the 37. So Ryan Preece up against the wall.
Going to try to get that thing restarted, turned around, rejoin the field. Will stay under green. Great battle for the lead shaping up here. Chase Elliott wants this stage win.
Go get him.
These 2 have not been to pit road. Allmendinger, Elliott, and Blaney, the top 3, they have not come to pit road yet.
That's exactly what Chase Elliott wants to do early in this race, is try to get these stage points. He gets wide for a low exit off of 6. That puts him in great position to be over in this corner to be able to exit well. Now look where he is. All of that, all setting the car to the outside on corner entry, allowed him to close in on the 16 through that series of corners.
A.J. Allmendinger known for his great road course abilities. Chase Elliott has won the last 2 races here.
Further behind them, Harvick has gotten to 11th. Kyle Busch got to 10th.
Kyle Busch is trying to follow the 24 through. Ricky Stenhouse hits the curb, runs Kyle Busch wide.
Now Harvick's going to try to take advantage of it. 47 lost some momentum. Now he's going to drive it deep in the corner right here.
There's a lot of contact right there. The 47, you see that left front tire rub. If he's got a tire rub, he's got sheet metal on the car rubbing the tire. The 18 car probably has some damage as well.
Now the final lap of stage 1. Allmendinger has about a 4/10 of a second lead over Chase Elliott.
And how about Martin Truex Jr. in 4th? At the start of this race was complaining about his car. James Small, so we have a plan. Well, a pretty good plan. He has him in the 4th position.
He did come to pit road on lap 9. And now the top 2 separating themselves, fighting for this stage win.
AJ trying to get wide right there. Got a little aggressive. Too much on the paint. Side by side down into turn 7.
Chase
Crossover.
Elliott, yeah, Chase Elliott loves that move. He goes way right in that one corner to get left on this one.
He's going to have the advantage off the corner. They accelerate out of turn 8, turn 9.
Who's going to give right here? Will anybody lift earlier? They're both going to try to outbrake each other. Side by side, and this rear chicane is almost impossible.
And they stay side by side.
Chase takes the position away. Accelerates and drives away from AJ.
What a move by Chase Elliott. Again, coming into this race, only 9 points above the cut line, looking for 10 points right here at the end of stage 1. Through the front stretch chicane, Chase Elliott wins stage 1.
And behind them, here comes, you see right there, Kyle Busch got up to 7th, Harvick to 10th.
Dave, Alex Bowman and Greg Ives have flipped the stage. That's given them track position for now. They sit in 7th, but there's a bigger problem developing on the 48, who's in a must-win. Listen on the radio conversation.
All right, so a little update from where I'm sitting. I do not think we have an alternator. It was recovering. It is no longer recovering. I'm 13-0.
So, Steve, earlier they told him, quote, recover the battery. So, obviously, some sort of electrical issue going on the 48, 13-0 on the volts. That worry you a little bit?
Very much so. It should be higher than that. With so much race left for the 48, I would think the team better plan on changing the battery maybe at the end of stage 2. That's going to hurt their track position, Parker, but at this point, it might be their only option.
And, Rick, a big development issue for Kyle Larson. They are losing volts on the 5 car as well. In fact, a moment ago, he was telling Cliff Daniels on the radio, volts are at 12. Then he said, now at 7, now at 5. They have told him to shut everything off in the car that he can. All of his fans, they've told him to shut the alternator off if he can. Now they're walking him through the procedure of what switches to shut off. They told him to shut off white 2, shut off another color switch. So, Steve, rapidly developing for the 5, losing volts on that car as well. That's 2 Hendrick Motorsports cars.
It is shocking that Kyle Larson can be in this position after. Oh, and we've got a spinner right on the front stretch. The 14 of Chase Briscoe is around. And so that brings the caution out.
You were mentioning the 5 of Kyle Larson, the 48 of Alex Bowman, both with electronical issues.
Okay, I'm on 2.
Question is now, only a third of the way into the race.
Off right now.
Is this the moment? You can come down pit road and work on your car. We see what happens right here. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. contact Chase Briscoe around at the Roval.
Battery issues for the 5 team, at least a charging issue for the 5 team. They're on pit road now, Steve.
Yeah, listening to their radio, I believe it's an alternator. They asked him to rev it up to see if the volts would increase like the RPM should. With an alternator, it did not. So that tells me they have a charging issue for the 5. That is next to impossible to fix during the race. It's going to take a long time to change an alternator. So now it's going to be about changing the battery for the 5 of Kyle Larson. Unlike the 48 of Alex Bowman, they're under the hood. So I'm not sure if they feel they had a belt missing or if it's a charging issue, but it's electronic issues on both. So go to the bottom of your screen. You see the car chief reaching in front of the left rear tire. They're going to pull the battery out. That's where it's kept on those vehicles. Turn it off. You don't want to do this with the car running. You'll arc, and it can actually hurt the system. There's a lot going on for Hendrick Motorsports in this shot. And Rick Hendrick, I hope he's not watching, because this is not what he wants to see.
Try to get it off.
Steve,
we're going to stay on the lead lap here, so Steven's going to do what he can.
The alternator belt got kicked off. That's what happened to Kyle Larson. That's what they were looking for into the hood of the 48 as well.
Plenty of time.
Right, so there's the battery that comes out. Doesn't look like your battery at home. It's not going to. These batteries are built by the race team to be more powerful and lighter. So now there's 2 issues. Fresh battery and an alternator belt. Great calmness by Cliff Daniels on the radio. So
calm. If you can't get the alternator belt on it, then don't worry about it. We'll just get the battery. Are you done with the battery, Jesse? Yes, okay.
There you go. Battery, first priority.
Fire the motor.
Belt
Let's
would be great. Let's not lose a lap because of it. I love the calmness on the radio. Shows leadership by the crew chief.
Longer caution laps are helping this team as well.
Look at the movement in the hands of the 4 car. Kevin Harvick struggling to try to keep this car underneath him. He's going to have to give up this spot to Chase. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I thought he might get a little more aggressive than that, but cut it pretty close. Chase gets by and gets clear. He'll drive away.
So Chase Elliott moves up to 2nd. Harvick running in that 3rd spot. Again, those 2 were separated by 9 points before the race started. The point standings changing with every lap. Now Harvick back below the cut line, 11 points out. Brad Keselowski is the next one closest to him in points.
And there's nobody coming from behind. You see a big gap between Harvick and the next car, so he can just bring this thing home in 3rd place in this stage. It isn't a stage win, but it is points. Even though those other cars, like you mentioned, Burton, are getting these stage points, you got to continue to fight forward. You never know what's going to happen in stage 3. Who might get wiped out? It's going to get pretty aggressive.
With so many cars on the lead lap, if you have trouble late in this race, you could lose 30 spots, 25, 30 spots.
Kyle Busch coming through the front stretch chicane for the final time here in stage 2. He's going to end up winning stage 2. That is another playoff point. That'll put 23 playoff points into his bucket if he's able to advance into the next round.
I'm going to tell you, this is a big break for the 5 of Kyle Larson battling those battery issues, but because everyone is working that alternate strategy except for the playoff cars, that's allowed Kyle Larson, as you watch these two finish, he's going to end up, I believe, 5th or 6th in this stage as it comes back around. Yeah, there he goes, Blaney, Logano, Larson in 6th, so scores some points. Remember that if that battery issue ends his day early or slows him down later, those could be the points that keep him going through the playoff.
Oh, look out.
The 9 is around.
Big
the 4
damage
as well.
There's a big damage to the back of this 9
the
car.
41 of Cole Custer, but a lot of damage to Chase Elliott.
Yeah, the problem, the 9 is destroyed, Junior. You said big damage.
Deck lid on it. Got to get this deck lid on it.
The 4 was there, too. It was very close between Harvick and Chase Elliott.
Track bar's broke. It is.
That's big damage. Chase Elliott came into the race only 9 points to the good. He has earned 19 points today in stage racing, but now a ton of damage.
Wow, he's already got the damage at this point. So he's already had contact with the wall somewhere in the infield.
And then the 41 got him there as he slid into the grass.
Yeah, let's take a look. You guys mentioned it already. Oh, right there. It's a great shot.
Oh, was there contact between him? Look at the front bumper of the 4 car. Big damage to the nose of Kevin Harvick.
Was that the payback from Bristol? Did Kevin Harvick wait until it mattered most for Chase Elliott? Let's take a look.
You're clear.
Wow. There was the contact. Sent him into the wall. Could that be the payback for Bristol a couple weeks ago?
We're riding on board. You hear him stand in the gas just before contact.
And does that end the possibility of the 9? Right now, 8 points below the cut line. Does that end his chance?
Listen to the throttle.
You saw the onboard, you heard the onboard right here. The 4 gets into the left rear, sending him into that right side wall. Then as the 9 accelerates with damage, he catches the 41. I'm thinking the 9 of Chase Elliott was thinking he'd like to catch the 4 right here as he turns to the left. I don't know if the car just comes around with the broken track bar or if he is aiming for the rear bumper of the 4, but in the end he catches the 41. Down the racetrack he goes. Big damage on the 9. Deck lid has to be on the car for the car to compete. And you heard a broken track bar. That's a piece of the suspension that holds the rear in place left to right. We'll see if the 9 can get a repair.
As we look down, you see Denny Hamlin getting fired up back. He had to stop on the back from the back stretch.
Yeah, Buster missed the back stretch. Stop on the front stretch is, I believe, what happened. Let's take a look right here. Oh, yeah, he gets in really deep and misses the backstretch chicane. Jeff, you pointed out he did what we saw yesterday. Jump in the gas, go as fast as you can, and serve your penalty on the front.
It's pretty interesting to watch him come around turns 3 and 4 on the outside of a car, and he already commits hard into this braking zone of the front straightaway chicane, stops the car and goes again, really minimizing the penalty as much as possible. Very smart driving by Denny.
Yeah, he was running 3rd. That dropped him back to 6th, and you're going to see that become more of a problem as this run goes on. A long green flag run, brakes get hotter and hotter and hotter, and as you try to enter these both the front and rear chicane, you're pushing the braking limit as far as you can, and as these brakes get hot, they just will not work as well as he did earlier.
Looking down on this 2.32 mile Roval here at Charlotte. Aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Just before Denny Hamlin had his issue there, the last lap. Take a look at what's happening here between the 2 and the 18.
Oh, Kyle gets a little help from behind the 14. They go down the front straightaway. Kyle probably very upset about that.
When you catch somebody, when you catch them side by side in these chicanes, that's a signal for Kyle Busch. Go run, go make something happen, because you know Keselowski's going to be slow on corner exit. He tried to do it, but got moved around from the back.
Well, and
it's been a few power punches.
There's been a couple, one of those being between the 9 and the 4, and we think about that. There's one more race that's still out there that you would think there's payback that can possibly come. That's Martinsville. And you guys mentioned earlier the Logano situation with Matt Kenseth. That's where a payback happened there. It eliminated Logano from the championship and also Kenseth.
But Chase Elliott's not out of this by any means. You get one caution and bunch everybody back up. He's fast enough to go pick up spots. If he can pick up 12, 13, 14 spots, he's back in. So they need to be cool and calm here. There's no way this thing's going to go 40 laps, 39 laps that caution. There's no way. So they can still get themselves into playoffs. Dave.
And Jeff, they've talked about that on the radio, lots of different ways to do this, and I don't think they meant getting back at Kevin Harvick. I think they meant winning the race. So as they talked about that, they also gave Chase a little bit of an update on the radio as to where the points are.
Tell me what we're going to do here. All right, we just need to stay on the lead lap as long as we can. If they stop laps under green, it's not going to be our friend, but we're running as long as possible. We're losing about a second lap to the leader. Just need to try to fix the car. Where we sit, we're going to need about 12, 13 spots. Williams leading. Obviously, if he wins, that's worst case for us.
So there you go. As they see it now, before the strategies completely play here at the end of the race, about 12 to 13 spots from where he is right now. And as you mentioned, getting a lot of speed out of the 9 still.
And Gustafson was just talking about where they stand in the points as we take a look at the Cup Series point standings presented by Xfinity. And right now, Elliott's 11 points below that cut line. Kevin Harvick 8 points below the.
We've seen at the Roval before, it comes down to a point here, a point there. We had that one huge tie that came down to the tiebreaker. So, you know, there's a yellow right here.
No bumper cover, and the caution has come out.
You give me odds on what the yellow's for?
No, I'm not giving you odds.
There it is.
Okay, so the caution has come out. Debris on the racetrack.
There you go. It finally loosened up enough where it blew off down the backstretch. No surprise, some of the high-speed crush panel comes out. A lot of issues for the 9. It looks like the fuel fill is still intact, so that'll be a good situation for the 9. And the 9 was able to stay on the lead lap in front of his teammate. So
Tyler Reddick with pressure tires trying to run down this 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Little twitch right there in the braking zone of the 8 car, really pressuring. A little smoke back there in the back of the pack. Oh, the 2 cars spun out. Brad Keselowski goes around. Oh, he gets the car righted. Very lucky situation, no contact.
This is a huge point story. Looking on the left-hand side, Keselowski drops. He's now in the red, 3 points behind. Harvick in, Elliott in, with positions to gain. Let's take a look at what happened.
Oh, that's 42. Locks up. But then they're just 3 wide. Just too many cars trying to funnel down into that area, and everybody doing what they can to not hit Brad. He's going to have to mail out a few thank you letters for that. He continues on, and he's just going to have to try to hope for a caution so he can be able to drive back through this field and gain some more points back. And I think Larson cuts him a break here. Anyone else would go 3 wide right here and try to outbreak this 24 into the braking zone, but I think Larson's going to cut him a break. Oh, Williams going to miss he's going to miss the chicane.
Stop.
Oh, Williams.
Stop all the way.
Oh, he still has did he ever stop? I'm not sure he ever stopped all the way.
Yeah, he slowed. I'm not sure he came to a complete stop.
Regardless,
hit him in the back.
He's all the way back behind the 4 of Kevin Harvick in the 13th position. Let's see right here. Was it contact?
Yep, the 8 car hits him in the back. He's already too far into the braking zone to get the car slowed down. And now the 24, his opportunity at a must-win, pretty much gone.
NASCAR said he is good as far as stopping in that zone.
Well, now the question is, now that William Byron has lost the opportunity to lead this race with 18 to go, he still has a chance to get up there and win it. Currently in the 11th position, but what that does is put Brad Keselowski 2 points behind Kevin Harvick. Brad currently 30th in the running order. Kevin Harvick higher in 13th.
Keep your eye on the bottom of the screen. What will Chase Elliott do if he gets to the 4?
Well, you're getting ready to find out because the 9 has a run on the 19 of Truex, and the 9 is going to force his way in.
Oh, the 4 is going to miss the corner.
He misses it into the DeWalt wall. Kevin Harvick hard. The right front of the caution comes out.
Heartburn turn, strikes again.
Yeah, Brian. Just walk the tire up, went straight.
And you see the flames from under the hood. Harvick will be jumping out of there quick. And more safety crew there to him.
Get out of there, top fire here.
He was above the cut line prior to entering turn 1. Into the wall, and now he's below the cut line, out of the car, and out of the possibility of advancing in the playoffs.
Karma. Yes, sir, it is.
It's the 9 radio. Chase Elliott has found his way close to the 4. Didn't get a shot to make contact if he wanted to. Basically, the 4 locked it up on his own, drivers.
Well, this was a bit of chaos. Kevin Harvick was fighting really hard, drives into turn 1, just overcooks it, drives in there too deep, locks the left front tire up. Now it just can't turn. Missed that tire pack directly into the wall. Remember, we saw Chase Elliott end that tire pack a few years ago, went on to win the race. Harvick got left of it and went into the concrete.
Once you lock up the tire there, you're in the fence, no question. There's no way you can get the car slowed down. Only way to get the tire to unlock is to get off the brakes. Either way, you're going in the wall at that point.
Watch your bottom now, watch your bottom. 19 to 1 back here. There you go, you're on the 22 wide here. 9 in line with you, still there. Inside. Got in the wall hard.
So obviously you just overcooked that corner, but look at it, watch this wall. Look at that wall move, how it absorbs the energy. Something to happen on that restart. William Byron restarted 11th. He passed 5 cars, got himself up to 6th place. William Byron's not out of this thing. He had a great restart, got real aggressive. He needed a caution to get himself caught back up. William will restart this thing 6th with Harvick.
Everyone through turn 1. Larson on the back bumper of the 11.
William Byron cleared Logano for 5th.
Look here, Larson, crossover move, really aggressive into the entry of that turn. He's going to take this lead away, runs the 11 wide.
Into the grass, and so Larson takes over the lead. Here comes Tyler Reddick. Now Denny Hamlin falls back to 3rd. He's got Chris Buescher behind him in the 17. William Byron in the 24 now to the back bumper.
All these guys, Letarte, we see that. All of them are pushing to the limit. Who? Truex won't make the mistake.
That's important because now that's going to move Truex to the bottom of the green cars. That means if Byron takes the lead and can win the race, that would eliminate Truex instead of Keselowski.
Points moving all the time. It was the 52. Joey Hand got into the back of the 19, and the 19 spins around. He loses enough spots. Now he's on the bubble as far as potentially missing out on the next round of the playoffs. We talked to Kyle Larson a couple races ago. He said, I don't expect... Byron into the grass.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Still green.
Contact.
Just, you know, the only way he was going to advance was to get to Tyler Reddick, try to get by him, and just pushed a little bit too hard.
Tires are clear. It'll make laps.
You heard the information. Tires are clear. It'll make laps. Yeah, listen, if you're ever going to be okay with a mistake like that, it's when everything's on the line. He had to find the edge and hope it would stick, and apparently he went over the edge.
That allows Chris Buescher into 3rd place. An incredible run for Chris Buescher here late in the season. His best of the year.
Yeah, William Byron was shooting a half-court shot with 1 second left on the clock. Just can't blame him for trying.
Speaking of 1 second, 1 lap to go now. The final lap from the Roval for Kyle Larson. I mentioned we talked to him earlier, and he said, I'm not expecting to win this championship. I know I have to go out there and fight and get it. There's where the 24 of Byron got off track and into the wall in the infield. Well, Kyle Larson is going after it here in the round of 12. Coming in, Kyle Larson had 60 playoff points. Those are the only things that will advance into the next round with you. 60 points is the maximum number of points you can earn in one race. So he has almost a 1 race advantage going into the next round.
He's going to have more now. Very impressive, Kyle Larson. I think what's most impressive for me, Rick, is the style of tracks. I would never have pegged Kyle Larson a road course racer, but this will be the second one of the year that he's proven that he can best some of the best road course racers we have seen.
and getting some of their momentum back. Bad strategy at Vegas, got in a wreck at Talladega. Before that, they weren't running great, getting some of that back for this next round of playoffs.
And what a season it has been for Kyle Larson. He is going to become the first driver ever in the Cup Series to win 3 road course races in the same season. Kyle Larson, through the chicane for the final time, he will win at the Charlotte Roval.
Today, guys, I did not see us winning. We just keep our heads in it all day long.